Hello.
Hello. All right. Can you hear us?
I can.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Not a problem.
We definitely appreciate it. In advance of this weekend, headed to Talladega. Before we get started with questions, just tell us a little bit about, going to Talladega and kind of, what it's like from your vantage point of heading into the weekend and kind of what your team's approach will be.
Yeah, for us, I mean, it's just go out and try and get a win and get some stage points. We came up short at Daytona, just the way things played out and where we were in the pack coming down the stretch at some of those stages. We didn't get the stage points that we got last year and kind of put us behind a little bit, but I feel like we've been making up for that, with the end result, the finishing result. So we'd like to get some more stage points. We know our NOS energy drink Camaro is going to be really fast. It always is. And, the guys have been, massaging on it, working on it hard. And when we got it ready to go, we just need to be one spot better than what we were at this race last year. But, all in all, it's just really about trying to get to the checkered flag and making sure that we have a chance to go win.
All right, and now we'll go to questions from the media. A friendly reminder, feel free to raise your hand within the Zoom platform or send us a chat. We'll be sure to monitor that area as well. And to kick us off with questions, we're going to go to Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, good morning, Ricky. You talked a little bit about it, but considering where you are in points, do you feel like if it gets dicey, do you still feel like you have to get stage points rather than maybe backing out, which might be the safer play?
I mean, I don't know. I just always kind of go off the feel. I don't really ever have like a set full game plan. I feel like, when you have those game plans and you try to stick to it, especially at speedways, it can be a detriment to, the decisions you make on the racetrack. So I'm more of a feel guy when it goes out to the racetrack. And, that's me. It's my spotter. And that's also, Brian Patty, watching from the pit box. I feel like we do a really good job of just kind of watching what's going on. And, so it's not like I'm not sitting here saying, hey, we have to go get stage points. If just like at Daytona, if the opportunity arises, then we'll go get them. If I feel like, things are getting too dicey and something could happen and we won't make it to the end of the race, then I'll back out. So it's just the way we've always kind of done our speedway racing.
And what is the overall vibe of the team, considering right now you're in the playoff mix compared to a year ago when at this time you really weren't?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different feeling, and you're always, looking to not make mistakes and continue the run that we've been on. Last week at Richmond, with the caution, the way it came out, and a pit road penalty, kind of set us back a little bit, but we were still able to manage a decent finish. Didn't feel like we finished where we feel like we normally run there at Richmond. But the overall confidence in the team is really high. We're doing what we set out to do this year, and that's be consistent, get those top 15 finishes, try to average 14th place or better finish, and just kind of see where things shake out. So it's nice to be in the mix. It's nice to be on a good consistent run, and also check the goals off that we've been trying to do since the off season, and it's been fun to accomplish. We got to keep it up. We got to keep doing it. A lot of races left until the cutoff. So there's a lot of winners, but you never know how it's going to shake out. So we're just going to keep plugging away.
Okay, we're going to take our next question here from Scott Chansey. Go ahead, Scott.
Yes, sir. It's a couple weeks until the Darlington race, and it's going to be on Mother's Day. And there's only been 7 or 8 Cup races overall on Mother's Day. With that in mind, what are your best memories of your mother having a role in your racing career coming up?
Yeah, my mom, she's always been super supportive of my dad racing. When he first started racing, making sure he's fed while he's, working in his carport back in the day when they first started dating. And she's continued that trend, all the way through with me racing, us working in the garage. She's always supporting us, always going to the racetrack, and she's coming to Talladega this weekend. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I think most drivers, always, know that they worked really hard with their dad to get to the point that they're at. But if it wasn't for, our moms supporting us on the backside, I don't think any of us would make it here either.
Okay, our next question will come from John Newby. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. So, Ricky, you've obviously had a lot of success at Talladega with a win, 6 top 5s. You've also had success at Daytona. What is it about super speedways that works so well for you and your car?
Well, I think it definitely evens the playing field out a little bit more than maybe some of the other racetracks do when it comes to, having the most resources, having, the fastest, all out fastest car. Obviously, the draft kind of takes care of a lot of those things. But you still need a fast race car. When we won our first race here at Talladega, we sat on the pole by 2/10, and it's nice to be able to have a car that fast. And so, since being paired up with Brian Patty, I feel like he takes a lot of effort, pays a lot of attention to detail when it comes to the speedway racing. And I feel like that's made me a better speedway racer. And then just learning over the years of, how the draft works, what you can do to manipulate, other drivers and other cars to, give yourself an advantage. And then, just trying to work and put yourself in the right positions and get yourself out of positions when you feel like things aren't going good. So it's just been something that I've learned over time. And,
All right, Ricky, can you still hear us? I think we might have lost him. There he is. Hang tight. We'll get him back in the room here.
Whoops, I hit the wrong button.
You're all good. Go ahead.
But it's, it's all about, putting ourselves in the right positions. And I feel like that's why, we tend to have some good runs here. And once you get a win, I feel like at a speedway race, and then, we got, back-to-back wins, I feel like that gives you a little bit more confidence in the decisions that you're making out on the racetrack.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Dustin Albino. Go ahead, Dustin.
Hey, Ricky, kind of off Bob's second question, but where do you feel like JTG's made the biggest improvements from last year?
I think it's just, paying attention to detail. For me as a driver, not trying to do more than what the car's capable of, less mistakes, a better pit road. We've had really good pit stops all year, and that's always beneficial when we have cars that are running, in the top 15, and we can come down pit road and gain a spot or two or maintain. That was something that we struggled with last year when we were fast. I felt like we would come in pit road and we could leave, 5-6 spots behind, and you're trying to make that up all the time. And so, that's an area that I think is better. We set out this off season to, come into 2021 and, just make less mistakes, be consistent, and try not to do anything, spectacular, and don't do anything that, is really bad. And, I think that's where, our heads are at. And I feel like we're all a little bit more focused each week. The guys working on the car, me in the car, making the decisions behind the wheel. I feel like it's been, a lot better and probably some of the best of my career as far as, the decisions I've made. And, I'm looking forward to building on that, continuing, to get better. And also at the same time, we're, trying to make our cars faster. Our Kroger team has worked really hard in the off season, as well as, making, some of the racetracks, now that we have a notebook, being at the team for a year, we can look back at those races that we struggled last year and make different decisions, different setup decisions going in that can benefit us. And I think you're seeing some of that as well.
Thank you, Ricky.
Welcome.
Okay, our next question will come from Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us this morning. You saw how it benefited you to have a good finish at Bristol as far as qualifying goes, but I'm wondering the way this new qualifying procedure is, and yes, you can give me the standard answer that it's the same for everybody, but how does that affect somebody like you when you're starting, an average of 13th, and that's pretty much where you're finishing, an average of 13th. I mean, it's like, do the rich just keep getting richer under this qualifying, method?
Yes and no. I do feel, last year when, we restarted and, I finished 40th and made not even a lap. And then all of a sudden we're starting in the back every week. It was definitely difficult to get to the front or get to where we felt like we should be running. But, it's long races. And, I feel like the 48 went to the back last week at the same time I did. Now, granted, he was a lap ahead of us, but he went to the back for a pit road penalty and, drove up and won the race. So, I think if you have a fast race car, you're going to get to where you should run no matter where you start. I definitely would like to qualify. I have fun qualifying, and it's a bummer that we can't. But I think if you have your car where you want it to be and need it to be, the first stage might not go as planned or get the stage points you're looking for, but you normally get your track position and kind of keep it throughout the race. So like you said, it's the same for everybody, and it can make those first stage or two difficult. But with competition cautions, you're not really worried about going a lap down. And so if you drive up through the field and come down pit road during competition caution, gain some spots, and you're right there where you should be running.
I guess you're at Bristol this morning.
No, I was not at Bristol this morning.
Oh, okay.
My team is. I'm actually in Talladega already. I am running my sprint car tonight and tomorrow night at the Talladega short track across the street here.
Okay. Can you just reflect a little bit on Sheldon's season so far? Yeah, I've seen a lot of gains in him.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had the same conversation with our Nelson Energy Drink 17 team is what we've had on our Cup side. Last year we won a lot of races and ran up front and found some consistency. And there was, just a couple of those, mistakes. You could put them all in, 5-6 races that we made a couple mistakes that took us out of, contending for a championship. And so this year was about, hey, let's be consistent. We know that to win an outlaw championship, you have to average a 5th place finish at least. And I think it's been about 5.2, 5.4 over the last, 12, 13 years. And, going back, looking at statistics. And so we know what we need to do to be in contention. We're second in points. The 49, Brad Sweet's been really fast, but we got to stick to our game plan. And it's been cool to watch them do that, week in and week out. And I'm excited to watch them race at Bristol this weekend.
Appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend, Ricky.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Claire B. Lang.
Thank you. Ricky, talk about the number of friends you have on the racetrack and, how that's changed over the years or what it matters now, including the friends you inherit via your manufacturer and those that you feel you've made or don't have.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody sits here and talks about the friends that they have and, your teammates going to work in the draft and obviously being at Talladega, I guess is why you bring that up. And so, when you get out on the racetrack, you really don't see a whole lot of big time help from people. Everybody still makes the decisions based off what's going to benefit them in the end. And and I'm okay with racing like that. I feel like that's one thing that has helped us, be in contention for wins, is making decisions throughout the race that is going to benefit your team and your partners. And, you can't keep making decisions throughout the race based on the people you're drafting with and just lose track position. You have to keep your track position no matter what throughout this race, to have a shot at obviously winning stages and getting stage points and winning the race in the end. So, Ryan Priest and I talked about it this week, and I'm like, dude, you just do what benefits you and your team, because I feel like we get too caught up in like, hey, how's this going to affect the guys I'm drafting with? And if you watch the 11, he has teammates out there, but he does and makes moves constantly that benefit him and his team. And I feel like that's why he's won so many Daytona 500s. That's why he's in the mix at the end of these races. So I feel like everybody, to the media maybe says, hey, I have my teammates, I got my manufacturer teammates, and that's what we're going to work with. But when it comes down to it, if you watch the races, I feel like everybody is out there for themselves.
We took a vote last night on the air about who had the most friends, who had the least friends, fans and what they thought, right, at a place like Talladega. Well, Denny Hamlin said he had a lot of friends that had nothing to do with his sponsor. He has a lot of friends in the field, right, and that will work with him or he's worked with, right? So you got the most votes for being like the one that maybe would have the least friends over the years, not friends on the track or fans, but but Denny did say that he does have other people he works with, right? So you don't feel like if you had given breaks to more people, then you had to have more fans or friends on the track as far as fellow drivers, it would have helped you at all,
Well, that's the fans' opinion. They don't really know what's going on exactly in our race cars or the conversations that are had before super speedway race. So I feel like I've got plenty of friends when I need to go out there and draft. But like I said, if you watch those people that, they have friends, and there's a lot of people that follow Denny when he, makes moves. There's people that follow Logano and Keselowski because, their cars are fast. They know how to stay up front and they know what they're doing. And, the more races over time that I've ran well and won and been in contention on super speedways, you just get more people that go with you. And when you have a fast car that can lead a line to the front and you show that, more people go with you. That's the fans' perspective, which, obviously everybody has their opinion and they have a right to have their opinion and whether they think I have friends out there or not. But, I'm very confident when I come to Talladega and Daytona that we can get the job done.
I appreciate it, and good luck. Thanks for the explanation. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Anton. Go ahead, Anton.
Thanks, Amanda. Good morning, Ricky. In less than a month, you've driven on a dirt track, short tracks, and you will drive on the super speedway. How difficult it is from a driver perspective to drive at such a wide range of racetracks in a short period of time?
It's something that we're used to. I think, the NASCAR schedule is very diverse. We go to so many different racetracks. We've added a couple new ones this year that we go to. I mean, you could throw in concrete and dirt and asphalt and new asphalt, wore out asphalt, smooth tracks, rough tracks. I mean, there's all different kinds of racetracks that we run on. And I think that's what's, fun about our schedule and about our sport is, every week is different. And, some notes apply. You could go from 1.5 miles to another and your setups are totally different. And I think that's what's cool about this sport of NASCAR. I feel like, all the tracks we go to are different and makes drivers and teams stay on their toes to make sure that they're ready.
Thank you. Wishing you all the best for this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question will come from Ashley McCubbin. Go ahead, Ashley.
Hey, Ricky, thanks for your time today. When it comes to Talladega and working with teammates, at what point in the race do you kind of go, okay, you know what? It's every man for themselves. I'm ready to go for the win and not really matter what happens with your teammates and the guys you're working with.
Yeah, I don't know if you were listening just a second ago. I feel like, you stay conscious throughout the race around you that you're comfortable with drafting. but you can't really ever count on anybody to go with you or to like the decisions that you make to benefit your team. So I feel like throughout the whole race, you have to make decisions based on what's going to give you the track position throughout the whole race. And sometimes that's, changing lanes where, there's only one hole to be filled, and maybe the people that you're drafting with behind you don't have a hole to get in. But, that's something that you got to, weigh your options of, do I stay in the top 10 or do I stay out here in the outside lane and draft with them and fall back to 20th? Those are things that you contemplate and that you're calculating throughout the race. I think everybody has noticed, I would say over the last 3-4 years, track position means a lot. You can't just run up through the field like you used to be able to. And it's difficult to get that track position to break into that top 10. There's so many games being played on pit road of, when to take tires and when not to, just based off of track position. So, I feel like the whole race, you're probably making decisions, based off what's going to be best for you.
And then so far this year, we've been to restricted plate, a short track, intermediate, road course, been to a bit of everything. What do you feel you and JTD Doherty need to work on to be stronger?
That's a great question. I think, the road courses is something that, is not my strong suit, but I feel like JTG has probably helped my road course. I feel like our cars are a little bit better than what I've ran on some of the road courses. And so that's helped me out. I think our short track program needs to get better. We went to Martinsville and we tried a totally different setup and we struggled. Richmond, we got really good at the end of the Richmond race, but we didn't start out as good as what we needed to. So I would say short tracks are where we need to kind of pick up some of our stuff that we work on and get some better finishes and have faster race cars. But all in all, I'm really happy with the consistency that we have. We're still just working on every racetrack and making sure that we're better.
Thank you for your time today.
Welcome.
Okay, we're going to take one final question and we will go to Cole. Cole, go ahead with your your question.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for your time, Ricky. The double yellow line rule has been a hot topic since it was first introduced and even as recent as last fall, Talladega. I'm curious what your stance is on it and if you'd like to see it maybe change to some capacity.
Yeah, I don't know. I really struggle with the double yellow line rule. I've been bitten by it a couple times actually. And, I feel like it's happened to me 2 or 3 times actually that I've gotten penalized for going below the double yellow line and advancing my position. There's so many instances where I feel like in all of my cases, I feel like if I would have stood my ground and not gone below the double yellow line, I'm just going to, whoever was blocking me was going to crash. And so to avoid the crash, I went below the double yellow line and, and still, I guess, advance my position. So anytime that happens, I just automatically now have to give it back because we've been bitten by it too many times. They say it's a judgment call. I'm not sure they really, I don't know if there's a certain way they judge it, because I feel like I've been bitten by it too many times. So, it's in place and you can use it to your advantage. Haven't really seen them penalize people for blocking people below the yellow line. I've only been on the other receiving end of being blocked and then getting penalized for going below it. So I don't really know what else there is to do with the double yellow line as far as rules go. It's either there or it's opened up, one of the two. And the way we all drive right now, if you opened it up, I think you would have people entering on the apron, getting into the corner, and I don't know if that'll be good or not.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Ricky, thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend in Talladega.
Not a problem. Thank you.